Welcome back to the deep dive. So for the last, couple of years, if you've been following AI news, the story has almost exclusively been about spectacle.
Right. Who has the biggest model, the newest, the flashiest?
Exactly. But if you look really closely at the capital flows, the acquisitions, and the strategic statements coming out this week, our sources are telling us that the whole story, it's pivoted.
It absolutely has. I mean, we're tracking a major inflection point here. The race for just raw capability, the models themselves, that's yielding ground to an intense focus on production-ready, real-world systems.
It's a shift from the model spectacle to what you might call a true agentic substance.
It's the perfect way to frame it.
And that is the core theme of this deep dive. Our mission today is to really extract the meaning behind the strategic movement. We're looking at a stack of comprehensive reports covering everything from multi-billion-dollar deals to just unprecedented financial bets.
And you have major industry leaders all echoing the same call for substance over shine.
Okay, let's unpack this. I think we should start with one of the clearest signals we've seen yet.
And that signal is corporate action. If you want to know what big tech truly values, you just watch where they spend their cash.
Which brings us directly to Meta. They just made a staggering acquisition, picking up the AI agent startup Manus for a reported figure north of $2 billion.
And this wasn't just a big price tag. I mean, this reveals a profound strategic urgency.
This wasn't a talent buy, which we see all the time in AI.
No, not at all. This was Meta buying a mature, working, revenue-generating agent platform. Manus specializes in these autonomous agents designed for really high-value, complex work, like deep research and sophisticated coding.
And the commercial proof is, well, it's staggering. This startup crossed $100 million in annual recurring revenue in just 8 months.
8 months.
That metric just screams commercial readiness. It shows you the market is desperate for functional systems, not just, theoretical ones.
And to understand why Meta would pay $2 billion, you really have to look at the benchmarks that matter now. Manus actually tops Scale's RLI benchmark. That's real-world learning and inference.
And RLI isn't like the old tests, right? It's not about easy academic tasks.
Exactly. It measures performance on valuable, complex, multi-step tasks in the real world. Things like autonomous debugging, or synthesizing competitor code, or integrating multiple outside tools without a human touching it. That's what the economy actually pays for.
It also gives us a fascinating glimpse into the geopolitical complexity of AI. Manus was founded in Beijing back in 2022.
Right. But the sources are reporting that as soon as the acquisition happened, they moved everything.
Relocated all operations to Singapore and immediately cut every single China ownership and operational tie. Now the CEO, Zhao Hong, and about 100 employees are joining Meta's leadership under the COO, Javier Olivan.
The strategic value here is just undeniable. This acquisition signals that big tech is prioritizing having profitable, production-ready agent platforms right now.
It's like an insurance policy.
That's a great way to think about it. The sources noted that Manus, right now, it operates using foundation models like Claude, but by acquiring the system, the orchestrator, Meta gets a functional agent, and then it has the flexibility to swap in its own internal Llama B systems later on.
So they bought the functional outcome. The engine powering it today doesn't even matter in the long run.
Precisely. They bought the system.
That's a phenomenal point, and it perfectly explains why they'd spend that much. It's an immediate utility hedge while they keep working on the long, high-risk foundational model development. But, while Meta is prioritizing agents, let's talk about the continued high-stakes betting on raw capability, because that brings us to SoftBank.
Right. You can't ignore the sheer amount of capital required to compete in this new world. SoftBank has reportedly completed its colossal $40 billion investment in OpenAI.
$40 billion. That's cited as the single largest bet ever placed on the frontier AI race. And you have to wonder, right, does that level of spending signal savvy strategic commitment? Or is it, Masayoshi's son chasing the very spectacle that other leaders are telling us to move beyond?
Well, it required a major asset reorganization, which tells you just how serious the commitment is. To fund this, SoftBank sold its entire $5.8 billion stake in NVIDIA.
Which was a hugely profitable AI investment on its own.
Exactly. They sold that alongside $4.8 billion of T-Mobile shares, and they slowed down deal-making across the entire Vision Fund. It was a decisive, all-in move.
The valuation context here is almost impossible to grasp. The initial investment valued OpenAI at $260 billion. But with IPO rumors getting stronger, some analysts are pushing potential valuations as high as $1 trillion.
It makes the dot-com bubble look like pocket change.
It really does.
And that aggressive valuation speculation, paired with the fact that OpenAI is also finalizing a separate $1 billion deal with Disney and is reportedly in talks with Amazon, it just firmly positions them as the heavyweight. They're defining market expectations.
So this massive financial move isn't just about cash. It's about competitive definition. SoftBank's investment is a decisive belief that OpenAI will win the frontier model race against, say, Anthropic, and that they will define how public markets value AI during the rumored 2026 IPO.
The market is deciding who gets to set the price for this entire new era. It connects the financial landscape directly to the strategic outcome, who controls the technology, and ultimately, who controls the profit.
This massive bet on the future, it just begs the question, how are the industry's most influential leaders thinking about this exact moment? And that brings us perfectly to the strategic outlook from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella.
Nadella's thesis, I think it provides the philosophical grounding for everything we just discussed. He argued that AI is moving past spectacle, that success will now be measured by real outcomes, by what people achieve, not just by theoretical model breakthroughs.
He gave us two key concepts for the shift. First was the move from the discovery phase to the diffusion phase.
Right.
He noted that capabilities are actually outpacing our ability to deploy them for real impact, which he called a model overhang.
And the way to think about a model overhang is, it's like we've built a Formula One engine, this incredibly powerful LLM, but we're only driving it on unpaved residential streets. The power is there, but the infrastructure to actually use that power at scale is missing.
And that leads directly to his second key concept, orchestration. He argues that the inefficiency from the overhang, it's not solved by another standalone model. It's solved by integrated systems. The next wave of progress will come from orchestration, the ability to seamlessly connect, manage, and deploy these advanced models in real-world pipelines.
And that orchestration, that's the key to generating measurable value. Nadella also reframed the human element. He argued AI should function as scaffolding for human potential.
Which means teams have to find a new equilibrium. I like that phrase.
It's a great phrase. An equilibrium that accounts for having AI-equipped colleagues who can operate at dramatically accelerated rates.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, Nadella's outlook is so significant because it shifts the entire conversation. It moves away from the raw performance numbers that dominated the last few years, and it grounds it in tangible, measurable value for people.
He even framed this as a crucial socio-technical test. He said that societal permission to keep advancing AI will only be earned by solving those real, tangible problems that people actually care about.
It's basically a call to action for the whole industry. Enough with the theoretical horsepower.
Start building the roads.
Exactly. Speaking of building the roads, let's move to our global updates and look at some tangible developments happening right now. Let's start with that balancing act between growth and safety at the big labs.
Right. OpenAI is actively mitigating the challenges that come with scale, particularly in areas like cybersecurity and potential mental health impacts.
And they're putting money behind it.
A lot of money. They're hiring a head of preparedness with a salary of $555,000 a year, specifically to focus on risk mitigation. It shows a clear corporate commitment to balance that breakneck speed with necessary safety measures.
Passing that socio-technical test we just talked about.
Exactly.
On the application front, we're seeing AI move into physical spaces in a big way. Waymo, for instance, is testing Gemini as an in-car AI assistant.
This is a great example of orchestration without control. A researcher found a system prompt buried in Waymo's app code, and it revealed the assistant's capabilities.
And it's all about the right experience, right?
Totally. It's designed to answer questions about the route, adjust the climate, the lights, and crucially reassure nervous riders. You know, it might say something like, I understand that was a sharp turn, but we are maintaining proper distance. But it does not control the car's driving functions. It's strictly an experience assistant.
Meanwhile, the infrastructure race continues at an insane speed. Elon Musk's xAI just acquired a building for something called Macro Harder,
which is set to be its third supersized data center.
The scale is just. It's notable. They're aiming for an ambitious 2-gigawatt training compute capacity.
And that kind of power is what keeps the discovery phase churning. But the global market is quickly maturing around this utility phase. We're seeing Zippu AI in China launch a huge $560 million share sale in Hong Kong.
Right after their new model launch.
And that values the company at an estimated $6.6 billion. It just signals a robust, rapidly expanding IPO market outside the U.S. The investment community is eager to capitalize on this diffusion phase everywhere.
And if we want a pure definition of orchestration reaching the consumer, we have to look at Alibaba. They just introduced MAI-UI.
An AI agent designed to autonomously control smartphone apps.
And complete multi-step tasks right on your phone. This goes so far beyond a chatbot. Imagine asking it, I need to return this item from the Amazon app, book the pickup via the courier app, and schedule a reminder in my calendar once the refund hits.
And it just does it. It controls the UI to complete the whole chain. That's orchestration in your pocket.
On the creative front, specialized tools are delivering these highly complex outputs. Tencent open-sourced Hunyuan Motion 1.0.
A 1 billion parameter model that generates high-quality 3D character animations directly from text prompts.
Which just radically streamlines game and animation pipelines. You go from a text description to a fully rendered 3D motion.
And Adobe just made a major strategic move here. They're partnering with the AI video startup Runway.
So they're integrating Runway's tech, including the new Gen 4.5, directly into the Adobe Firefly AI studio.
Right, and this is an internal development. This is a strategic partnership to deliver immediate best-in-class capability to their existing creative users. It's all about orchestration.
It really shows the focus has shifted entirely to delivering tangible outcomes to end users. So for you, the learner, how can you engage with these new tools? Let's run through some of the trending tools we've identified that really exemplify this pivot to substance.
First, we have to mention Manus again. I mean, it is the gold standard for the shift we're tracking. A state-of-the-art general AI agent that the market immediately paid top dollar for.
Then there are tools focused on speed and usability, like Chatterbox Turbo, that resemble AI's fast, expressive, open-source text-to-speech model, just rapid, high-quality output.
Hunyuan Motion 1.0, the open-source model we just covered, is an immediate asset for creatives. It turns a text prompt into a professional 3D character animation.
And MAI-UI from Alibaba showcases that move to mobile autonomy, an agent that can literally take control of your phone's apps to get things done.
There's also an interesting niche tool called Jarts. It speaks directly to the new content landscape. Its whole purpose is to help content producers get cited by AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and AI overviews.
So it's helping creators orchestrate their own digital presence to stay visible in this new era.
That's right.
For those juggling multiple creative platforms, there's Monet. It's a single platform to create images, videos, and audio without constantly switching tools. Again, integration and workflow efficiency.
And finally, Prodly. This one is focused on organizational orchestration. It helps transform that chaotic early discovery phase into structured, outcome-driven decisions. It brings method to the madness.
That brings us full circle. The financial moves, the strategic outlooks, the actual tools, they're all pointing in one clear direction.
The theme is unmistakable. The strategic focus and the capital are moving decisively toward integrated systems that deliver measurable, immediate value and clear outcomes. We're exiting the era where pure model capability was the headline.
Utility is the new spectacle.
Well said.
So what does this all mean? For you, the learner, this new focus on systems and orchestration means the skill of integrating and managing multiple AI tools will soon outweigh the skill of just using one isolated model really well.
Your value is increasingly going to be defined by your ability to be an effective orchestrator of these AI assets.
And as we close out this deep dive, consider this provocative thought. SoftBank just cashed out a huge NVIDIA gain to fund a $40 billion bet on OpenAI.
Does this investment truly signal a final necessary push for a $1 trillion OpenAI valuation? Or is the market collectively overestimating the speed at which frontier AI can move from Daedalus discovery phase into widespread profitable diffusion?
We leave that fascinating question with you. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We encourage you to continue exploring this new outcome-driven phase of AI, and we'll see you in the next